We've made it back for a second episode.
Yeah.
Somehow. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Sean.
And I'm Chris.
Welcome to the South Coast Social Pod. Right, what do you want to drink?
Let's mix it up this week, I reckon. Let's try something a bit
We've
different.
got Bacardi Breezers in here, mate.
Oh, yeah, no, you're
Got Bud, got Estrella.
Yeah, I'll have an Estrella.
I thought you might.
Yeah. At the back. If it,
There you go, mate.
yeah, nice one. Thank you very much.
How's your week been?
Yeah, not too bad. Long, but not too bad at
I
all.
was going to say outside of football because we can go into that.
Yeah, no, yeah, plodding along, you.
Yeah, not bad. It's been a busy one at work, but yeah, surrounded by these two games that we both had each.
Yeah.
And that sort of dictated my mood, which is a bit up and down, really. But other than that, all good, all good. So for those that didn't join us last week, the last episode, you can go back and have a look at it. We basically went over a whole season review in about 10 minutes, how our seasons went versus our expectations, where we are now. We spoke a little bit about the derby games from this season, and then from this point onwards, we'll review the games that have just gone last week, preview the ones that are coming up next week, talk about things that we agree on, things that we don't agree on, stats, and then we've got AOB, and then go from there. So do you want to start with your first? Let's start with Saturday's games.
Yeah,
So
Saturday.
you got Leicester was your...
Leicester was ours. Not a bad result, all things considered. Awful game. I definitely don't think it'll live long in the memory of great Portsmouth, games. But we got the result. We pretty much nailed in Leicester's
1-0, wasn't it?
1-0. Yep, Leicester's relegation. I mean, apparently it was a slight question of handball.
I haven't
goal.
seen it back, actually. I should have.
I mean, his hand was by his side. He's gone to header it. He's missed it. It's kind of gone down, rolled down, hit his hand on, and gone in.
It's a little bit like the derby goal.
Sounds a bit like the derby goal.
It's definite handball.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we had a good result. Leicester were poor for the money.
Shock.
Harry Winks got into a verbal with the fans. That was good.
I saw that. Was he on 90k a week? 90k a week.
I think they said he's pretty much on what the whole of the Pompey squad is on a week.
Yeah, I could imagine that.
And
he's piping back at fans.
He's piping back at fans, and that's the most energy he's given in a long time, apparently. So good result. Done well. I mean, it took the pressure off our next game, which is good. Not bad, really. Not bad at all.
Well, you went for 2-1, so you were pretty close for that.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I went for?
Did you go 3-3, didn't you?
3-0, yeah.
Yeah, that's mate. We've got 3 goals in us.
It was nowhere near. Well, I just thought it would be a bit like when we played them away, they sort of released the shackles a little bit and came at us. And they were, to be fair, that's probably the last time they played well, which was the first half of the game against us. They battered us. And then I thought the pressure would get to them a little bit. They'd open up a little bit like they did against us, and then crumble or something. But they didn't turn up by the sounds of it.
Since that game that you played them, they haven't really done a lot. They've struggled, haven't they? I mean, they didn't offer anything.
Yeah.
We seem to have riled up a whole country in Bangladesh.
Really?
They are now trolling I don't know if you've seen it. They've Hamza Chowdhury, is it?
Oh yeah.
His fans, because he's Bangladeshi, his nationals are literally trolling all of Portsmouth's accounts. They're putting AI pictures of the Pompey players walking into the ground in bikinis with boobs and tits out. Yeah, unbelievable.
Tits.
Yeah, the whole shebang. Unbelievable. So we seem to have rolled up a whole country. They.
I'm assuming that's Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. Yeah, well, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, Instagram. But yeah, I mean, it was all right. We got what we had to do. We got the win. I said we wouldn't lose. We didn't lose, so yeah.
And you kept a clean sheet.
We kept 3 clean sheets in a row. So all things really not bad.
And Murphy was back from injury as well.
Yeah, didn't play. We didn't need to. But it was good to see him on the bench. I mean, maybe that was just a bit of psyche to try and maybe throw off Leicester, but they didn't offer anything really.
You had a couple of injuries as well, didn't you?
Yeah. We lost Devlin, hamstring.
I didn't realise that. We spoke about him last week.
Yeah, that's it. And the way he was looking and the way he reacted, I think he knew that was a very good chance that could have been his last game.
Yeah.
I think it could be his last game. Obviously, we don't want it to be his last game, but yeah, he's lasted all season, and he's played every minute after the first 12 games of the season. He's pretty much played every minute.
Yeah.
And then he gets injured, and then we lost another injury before that for a hamstring as well. So that's the story of Portsmouth's season, really. Hamstring injuries left, right, and centre. And
you've probably I'm being quite fair here, which is
blimey.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You've probably had the most injuries of any team all season. I think there's quite a lot of teams. Actually, we've had a lot where we're coming up against teams and they go, we've got 10 injuries, we've got 8 injuries. So to be fair, I think we've done very well. But it seems like throughout the whole of the season, Portsmouth have had a lot of injuries.
Every team gets injuries. Every team gets a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
We seem to have, over the last 2 years, had a lot of injuries. We this season alone it's just hamstring after hamstring.
But what, is that down to anything? Like,
is it the training ground? Is it the training? Is it the? I honestly don't know. You got one side of the fan base saying, "Look, there's something clearly wrong in some way," and then the other side of the fan base were going, "Well, hang on a minute. Look at Devlin. Look at X. Look at And then, but now obviously he's fallen foul. Keshley Anderson was the other one. He's done his hamstring, so. Yeah, they won't be back this season if they're back at all.
I don't need them now, do you?
No. Well, no. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. So, should we move on to your game then?
Yeah.
And
the game on Saturday was
Swansea.
Yeah, I was a bit worried about this one, to be fair, and by the sounds of it, I was right to be to a point. So we obviously won 2-1. I think I put 2-0. You put 1-0. So we're pretty.
It was looking good until I think you scored in the late 80s or 90th minute or something, wasn't it?
90th minute.
Yeah.
So not for the first time in this run that we've had, we went behind. We went in at half time behind. Weren't playing well, but not necessarily playing badly, but it just wasn't really clicking. Again, he made sort of 5 or 6 changes. I can't remember how many it was over. I mentioned last time I thought it might have gone one too many. He seems to have this sort of midweek team and weekend team. Yeah. And I do think on paper one of them's stronger than the other. So one includes Cienza, one includes Charles, and it sort of it does mix around a little bit. So yeah, I thought we had Cienza back. I thought it was one of those occasions that we would probably get an early goal against a team not really fighting for anything, and then just see it out in a professional manner, a little bit like we did against Blackburn. Yeah, but that wasn't the case, and he made a lot of subs. Charles came on. He scored a header. I think it was reasonably late. I can't remember even off the top of my head now. I should really look at these things before we start recording. But I think it was over the hour mark. It was a flick on in the box and then a header at the back post. And he keeps coming up with these moments. Because he's not actually been playing brilliantly. I think to have a player of Shea Charles' quality and he doesn't start for us because we've got Yander and Downs and Bragg in that position. I don't think it's necessarily because he's not good enough. It's just his partnerships aren't really working with those players. So he's a brilliant player, quite versatile as well. But he just doesn't seem, especially with Downs, I think everybody would say Downs is one of the best defensive midfielders in the league. He was when we went up a couple of years ago. And he's sort of shown that in the second half of this season. Charles was amazing at Sheffield Wednesday.
What's his really good position then?
He's a central midfielder. He could get. He's quite big. He's quite athletic. But yeah, he could get forward, as we've seen with the goals that he's got. He's decent in defensive midfield. He played right back the other day. He has played sort of right centre back for us under Russell Martin. So he's quite versatile. But because of his size as well, I think that helps in terms of things like set pieces and stuff. And yeah, at Swansea, he came on. It was a good header at the back post. But the game was it was one of those that when you're watching it, you go, the last 10 minutes has felt like 1 minute and nothing's happened. Yeah. And then it just seems like the time, 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes. And then he brought on Cameron Archer, who's a revitalised man, been absolutely useless for the majority of the season. I mean, that Leicester game that we were talking about that we won 4-3, he started that game and it was like we were playing with 10 men. But I think everybody knows he's a good championship player. He's proven it before at various other clubs. He has scored in the Premier League for us. And it's just not worked for him this season. No. But he's, by all accounts, really good around the training ground. He's really good behind the scenes. He's got his head down. And that game at Blackburn, I think, sort of spurred him on to do more things. So, yeah, he came on literally his first touch. Have you seen the goal?
No.
You see the goal? It was a nice little flip from Cienza and then across to the back post. And, he's just hit it on the volleys from the edge of the area. it takes a deflection going in. Someone's trying to clear it just sort of in front of the line. To be honest, awful attempt at a clearance. He should have cleared it, and he's put it into the other corner of the net. I think it was going in anyway, but absolute scenes at the end, and got a 2-1, and that's been a lot of late goals lately.
There hasn't it? Definitely.
So you kind of get that feeling that they're never going to give up, and they do believe in themselves. That they're going to get over the line. It was similar under Russell Martin. We had a lot of late shows, but yeah, for that it wasn't the greatest performance, but we found a way to win. Did the same against Derby a few weeks ago. There's been a few of those, but yeah, it sort of set up quite nicely going into Tuesday, because it's put a lot of pressure on the sort of Millwall, Ipswich. We had Ipswich playing Middlesbrough, and they drew. I probably would have preferred Middlesbrough to win.
Ipswich are playing tonight, no?
Ipswich are playing tonight, yeah. I mean, they've got 4 games left. I look at the games that are left.
Yeah, they've got hard games for them, though. They haven't got the easiest running, have they?
Have they got West Brom tonight, isn't it?
No, West Brom played last night. They are playing...
No, that's at the weekend, I think.
Charlton away tonight.
Charlton, okay.
See, they've got a hard run in. They had Middlesbrough U. Charlton isn't always going to be the easiest games.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who else they've got, but I think Millwall, as it stands, have probably got the easiest of the last 2 games.
Yeah, they've got both relegated clubs.
Yeah.
I can only hope that with that,
I'd like to see Millwall go up. I think they
if we don't go up, which automatically,
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
I would prefer Millwall as well.
Because I think they've deserved it. I mean, they've been pretty consistent as far as I've seen. We beat them. I don't know if you beat them, did you?
No, lost and drew.
We got 6 points off them this season, but I mean, they look a team that are, considering they weren't offering a lot last season. They've done well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's 2 games to play in there. There's still a lot to play for.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way. I mean, Tuesday sort of is a fine example of how things can change. Yeah. And like I say, if you look at the form of the teams, obviously we'd won 6 in a row in the league, but everybody around us was dropping points all over the place. Hence why we've been able to jump from, we were sort of chasing the playoffs for a while, and then we suddenly jumped from 7th to 4th in a really short space of time, just with a couple of wins. So teams are dropping points. Unfortunately, Millwall didn't the other night. They seemed like they were quite comfortable against Stoke again, who had nothing to play for. So yeah, we'll wait and see. But Ipswich have got a couple of games in hand. Millwall have got a couple of easy games, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it sort of led on to Tuesday. Yeah. I mean, we could start with Pompey on Tuesday. You were up at Coventry.
Yeah, I went to Coventry. I mean, we mentioned it in the last pod. We didn't even remember that we had the midweek games, did we? No, we completely forgot.
It's just so many games at the moment, like at the end of the season.
It's all come very thick and fast, isn't it? We were all talking about Saturday's games and how crucial they were for both teams.
Yeah.
Completely forgot that we had midweek games. Yeah, I went to Coventry last night. Not the greatest. Well, it was great because we survived. We're up. We're staying up for another year, which is always great.
It's never an achievement when somebody else achieves it for you.
Yeah. And I think, I said all through the week or over the weekend, building up to it with some mates and stuff, that, I'll take losing. They get their crown champions. We go up as long as Oxford lose. And I didn't think Oxford, after how they got on last weekend, would beat Wrexham at home. Thankfully, they didn't.
Yeah.
But having witnessed QPR away just a matter of weeks ago, to then go up there and gift Coventry 3 goals and make it, I mean, they're a good.
Do you think the injuries took a toll?
No, I just think that I think that 3 very big games took a lot out of them physically and mentally.
Yeah.
Like we spoke about last week, we didn't see those three wins coming. 3 clean sheets. Come Tuesday, Coventry's a different beast. Deservedly winners. They deserved everything they've got this season. They had a little wobble. They got through that. I just didn't want to get battered, and I didn't think we were going to get battered. I think Coventry, they needed a win to guarantee champions. So they were always going to go out. But first half was pretty even. They scored their goal. There wasn't a lot in it. Like I said, they're a very good team. They always seem to have that extra man. They always had that person that was free that could get down the wings or whatever. And going at half-time 1-0, I'm thinking, all right, we're all right here. This is all right. We're not on the cards to getting battered. And then second half comes, I think, 3 or 4 minutes in, and an absolute howler. by our keeper.
Wasn't it?
It was awful. I don't know if I think it was just awareness. I think some of the times I think he's got way more time than he thinks he has. But look, if this wasn't a game that's, and I know a lot of Pompey fans are feeling the same. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the result. We've stayed up, and granted, at this point in the season, to be up with 2 games left, pressure's off. Relax, play some kids, do whatever. Get the seconds in. Relax. You don't worry about injuries. But if this was a normal game, I think I'd be sat here and I'd be pretty disappointed with the manner of how we played the second half. Yeah, they were on a high, but we've gifted them 3 goals, and 2 of them are the keeper's fault. 1 was an own goal, and I think Schmidt Saturday got man of the match on Sky.
Yeah,
and this is the problem. He'll have a good game, and he'll have 2 or 3 shocking games. Or he'll have a couple of good games and have 4 or 5 shocking games. I think since we played you, and he broke his hand at your place, he hasn't been the same player with his distribution, with his keeping. He seems more, not so much lately, but up until the last few games, he's looked a lot more. He used to come running out.
Just a bit cautious.
Yeah, he's very cautious.
I bet it's probably subconscious.
100%. He had an absolute shocker last night. An absolute shocker. And yeah, we'll talk about this next week, or when we tie up the season and our review and all that. But it was a good atmosphere. It was a good game. Pompey got a really good goal back. The Pompey fans were loud throughout, and I mean, the singing of 3-0 up. Who cares? We're staying up. I mean, and that the Coventry fans seemed to appreciate that, because they were battering us, and we were loving life at 3-1, 5-1. So
sort of reminds me a little bit. We got promoted from League One against Warsaw, and I think it was 3-1. But they were celebrating as well, because results went their way and they stayed up. So it's two clubs sort of celebrating, even though
it was really surreal. At one point they were celebrating that they're winning and they're going to be champions. We were celebrating because we were staying up. So we were chanting we're staying up, and they were chanting Cov are going up and Leicester are going down. So it was a very interesting, because obviously we helped them, relegate Leicester. So it was an odd atmosphere. It was good atmosphere. It was good to go. I'm feeling it today. The travel home was pretty poor. It was long.
How long did it take?
Well, the A34 was shut, so I got home about 1:45, which was nice. Up at 5 for work. Yeah. So it was nice. It was.
You've done well to get it.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll talk later on about the fans and stuff, but I don't know. I was a little bit disappointed.
Talk about it now.
Yeah, well, I mean, you always get, we couldn't hear you, you couldn't hear us. And I know when we played you at St Mary's, we couldn't hear you and you couldn't hear us. Yeah. And I think that was a lot to do with the ground, maybe. I'm not sure. When Coventry were on it, you could hear that they were loud. They were very, very loud. Up until 2 or 3-0, they were quiet. Even, they'd have the celebration for the goal, but then they're quieting down again. There wasn't a lot of celebrating. They got to 5-1 and it was a party. They were loving life. It was continuous singing, and you couldn't hear the Pompey fans. All you could hear was the Coventry fans. The Pompey fans were giving it as good as they got. And you think, well, game finishes, fireworks go off. They've got the fireworks going off the roof. They've done the whole shebang. Police everywhere, security everywhere. They've surrounded the Portsmouth team in case there's people running on the pitch. No one tried to run on the pitch. Now, I feel like if that was us and it was you, we would be on that pitch quicker than anything. If you win the league to go up as champions, you'd probably be on the pitch.
Well, the 3 times we've been promoted, one's in the playoffs, you can't get on the Wembley pitch.
No.
But the 2 times we got promoted, we ended up on the pitch. The one thing I will say is it was the last day, had to win.
Yeah.
All the emotions there. It was a Saturday, it wasn't a midweek game. So I think that all leans into it. I think with Coventry, if they didn't beat Pompey, they still probably would be champions. They knew that. So they were champions elect. I don't think it was one of those. No. There was no emotion. They're already promoted. They were pretty much going to be champions within, even, they could probably not win a game this season and still go after champions.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of talk apparently before the game from their owners, from the police saying about banning orders and don't get on. So fair play to them. They didn't run on. They've celebrated, and fair play to them. They've deserved it. The atmosphere was good after the game. They were quiet throughout the game. We've stayed behind. We've celebrated staying up. We've given the plaudits to the Pompey team for conceding 5 goals. Yeah. And left. And I thought, well, we'll get out of here. Good opportunity. There's 31,000 people in the stadium, 2,000 Pompey fans, and let's go. Let's get out of here. Get home. Let's get going. Gets out the ground and they are streaming out the Coventry fans by the droves.
Really?
There was thousands and thousands of fans
Straight after the game?
Yeah, within 5 minutes of the game finishing, they were flooded.
They weren't lifting the trophy or anything.
No, there was no trophy. But they were all on the pitch. They were all celebrating on the pitch. The owners.
I suppose it's again a Tuesday night.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday night. They've got Saturday to come, which is their final home game before they were away.
They'll do all the trophy.
They'll do all of that lift there. So I kind of get it, but I was expecting them to stay behind and have a bit more of a sing-song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But hey, look, they deserved it. I mean, if it was any other given day, that was a bad game for Pompey in the end.
Yeah.
But I think the players fed off every time. Well, when Oxford got a goal against them, it feeds back to the pitch, and the crowd go mad. So I think they knew that.
Relaxed a little bit.
Yeah. So we're staying up.
Well. First thing I have to admit was that I was wrong about was I thought you were going to go down. To be fair, you had the Coventry the QPR loss, and then you had to play Middlesbrough, Ipswich, Leicester, and Coventry.
Yeah,
and I would have thought you'd get 3 points for them, and you did a lot better. So I'm not going to say congratulations.
you nearly done it.
No. I just I was wrong. Just stubbornly wrong.
Yeah.
But we go down next season instead.
Well, no. Look, who knows what's going to happen next year. I mean, it is a massive achievement, more so this year than last year. Last year, there was the high of being champions.
I'd say I don't agree with that.
Do you not?
Nah, this season, I think it's a much easier league. I said it last week. I think you had Oxford coming up, who aren't traditionally a second-tier club over our lifetimes anyway. I'm assuming they were probably the bottom budget. If you were second,
no, I think Sheffield Wednesday because they couldn't have the embargo.
So Sheffield Wednesday were always going to go down anyway. So that was you only had 2 spaces left. Then you had Oxford, who they came up with the thought of do anything to finish fourth from bottom. And then so really it was 1 place left. Then you had Leicester, who they had a points deduction obviously, and then suddenly couldn't buy a win. And then Charlton came up and things like that. So I think in terms of survival, it was one of the easiest that you could survive. And on our side, one of the easiest that you could go up as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you had invested well and recruited well, I think it was one of those seasons that you could really put something together. I mean, we'll probably talk about it in a couple of weeks' time when we know who's coming down. But if you look at the teams that are probably coming down and coming up, so you've got Cardiff coming up, possibly Bolton. Is it Lincoln and the other team as well?
Up,
So you've got bigger teams coming up than we had last season. You've got much bigger teams coming down than we had last season.
But you look at the teams that are in the playoffs at the moment, and there's going to be one team. If it finishes now, there's going to be one team: Middlesbrough, Ipswich, or Wrexham or Hull.
Hang on,
you ain't going up.
Well, right? Okay. Well, we'll talk about our game then, because
let's get on to yours.
I was going to say, like Tuesday, after all the high of the 90-minute winner at Swansea. It was one of those, again, made a lot of changes. Made a few changes, actually. I think it was meant to be 4 changes. And then right before kickoff, Jack Stevens pulled up injured.
Okay.
And Nathan Wood came in, which is fine because Nathan Wood, he played really well against Arsenal. It wasn't one of those where you go, oh, that's an issue. You would have thought in a game like that, he would be able to hold himself.
I've heard he hasn't held himself.
He had a shocker.
Yeah,
he had a shock. And to be fair, it's not one of those where, he was falling all over the place at the clown. I think their striker, he just gave him a torrid time. He was so quick, so powerful. He reminded me of Shane Long. He looked nothing like him, but he reminded me of Shane Long in that he didn't do anything really around the box, apart from the first minute. He didn't do anything around the box, but he just put so much pressure on our back four, gave him no time to settle, won things in the air, just really, really pushed Nathan Wood and Taylor Harwood, but certainly Nathan Wood around a little bit and really gave him too much to think about. And he was possibly not well prepared for the game because he thought he wasn't starting. And it kind of showed. It might be an excuse, but it kind of showed. But yeah, we started the game horrifically. It was one long ball over the top to that striker who was 1-on-1, and the keeper made a decent save. I think he gave him the opportunity to make a good save, to be honest. It wasn't the greatest finish. They then got through again. I think it might have been Nathan Wood that slipped. Or I think it might have been given as a foul, but I think it was a slip. It was quite generous. They would have been in then. And then in the 4th or 5th minute, they actually scored.
Yeah.
And it was a great cross, and Ryan Manning put it in the back of his own net, but it was one of those, if he didn't, the player behind him was going to put it in anyway. So there was no blame on that. And we just took a really long time to get going. And it was a little bit like the Swansea game, a little bit like the Derby County game. We just took a really long time to get going. And I think this might be a little bit of a symptom of us changing the team so much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've got to use the squad because of the amount of games that we've got. And we're bringing in like-for-like players who are stepping up. They're not doing too badly. But I think that lack of consistency of the starting team means it's not the quickest to get going over the last few weeks. And there's been a lot of games. They're probably tired. So you can give them a little bit of a break. But, yeah, completely against the run of play. We got a free kick. Manning put a great ball in and Larin scored again. And you think, right, okay, we'll kick on from there. Just never did.
No.
Got to half time. I think a lot of people were hoping he'd bring on Cienza, possibly bring on Ross Stewart and maybe Fellows as well. But he didn't make any changes. And then, it was a soft corner that we conceded and an even softer goal that we conceded. It was just, a corner. Shea Charles lost his man and they're 2-1 up. And I texted the group at the time, we haven't got 2 goals in us. It was one of those days where we just thought, we're not even creating much. So it wasn't a case of, we're just missing left, right, and centre. We weren't really creating that much. But yeah, again, sort of against the run of play. Bristol, I was really impressed with Bristol City. I mean, they've got nothing to play for, but they've got Roy Hodgson.
Yeah.
I think Roy Hodgson, I know he's 45 years older than our manager.
Yeah.
He's not going to let them just be on the beach. So I just think they're playing for him and they're happy to play for him. They've probably been inspired by him.
I mean, they had a shaky start under his tenure, didn't they? But they seem to have held their own. Like you said, they have nothing to play for. Now, I've got a question for you then in that sense. Regarding like that game, the Swansea game, that it was more of a struggle for you to get over the line, even though you got over the line. Do you think it's not cockiness on a team's part or the manager's part? Do you think it's a bit of overconfidence?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Is it easy to blame a lot of games in a lot of period of time? Because you're playing Swansea, nothing to play for. You're playing Bristol City, nothing to play for. These two teams have stepped up when really they didn't need to.
I don't think Swansea stepped up quite as much as Bristol City did. It is easy to say there's a lot of games in a short period of time, but a lot of teams have had a lot of games in a short period of time. What I would say is, and no player would ever admit this, and I wouldn't even blame them, but some of them might have an eye on Saturday for the FA Cup game. Even if they say they're not, it's going to be in the back of their heads. So I saw a couple of tackles. You think you might have gone in for that if we weren't playing.
Would you say this is your biggest game coming up on Saturday in a few years?
Well, in a couple of years because we had the playoff final, which is the biggest game.
Yeah.
So that's in terms of future of the club. If you're owner of a club or a commercial director at a club, that's the biggest game of all time.
Yeah.
For the fans' point of view,
this is probably the
biggest. Up there. But no, it's not as big as the playoff final. It's bigger than any game we've had since, I would say, but it's not as big as the playoff final.
Because you look at it, I don't think you're going to beat City, but you never know. I thought you'd beat Arsenal, unfortunately. I don't think you're going to beat City, but you look at the other side of the game. You look at Sunday, Leeds and Chelsea. Chelsea's just sacked their manager. Leeds are Leeds.
Yeah.
You win against Man City, you're in the final, and you have a genuine shot of winning that cup.
Well, we'll see, because it's not... Like I say, they might have had it in the back of their minds, and if I was a footballer, I would too. And we've got a lot of British players, and maybe it is in their mind a little bit that they've got a big game against. It's going to be televised. It's going to be broadcast all over the world. They're up against the best. They've already proved that they could do it once.
Yeah.
To be fair, when the second goal went in against us, they did. I mean, he changed it around about. He brought Ross Stewart on up front with Larin, which seems to always work. By the way, he never does it unless we're really chasing a game, but it always works.
Yeah.
Ross Stewart, pretty much his first touch, scored, and then we had a couple of chances. We had Shea Charles. I don't blame him. It was technically a sitter, but it was. I'm not sure what else he could have done. If you know what I mean, it was a decent save, but he did kind of hit it right at the keeper. Then we had one we could have bundled in at the end. So we had those last minute opportunities again, but. Yeah, ultimately it's a bit of disappointment because Millwall won, and we've now got to rely. We were relying on other results anyway, but it's gone from pretty unlikely to very, very unlikely, and I think it's now got to the point where we go. It might have done us a favour in a way. If I look at it positively, if you go, we're not going to finish second. Maybe they'll start thinking that now, depending on how results go between now and the Ipswich game. If we beat Ipswich and results go our way, it's back on. If I think what will happen is the results won't go our way, all we've got to make sure is we finish sort of third or fourth so we can have that advantage of the second leg being at home, and they can relax a little bit. Now, if they've got an FA Cup final to worry about, it might be very different. But I don't think they're going to have an FA Cup final.
No, I don't think you will.
We could preview that game now because, I mean, there's not much more to say about
seeing as we've
say about the
tied that up, and we'll come on to the FA Cup game now. We've had a question, and I think this, by what we just talked about, and the sort of
one question.
I mean, it's a question. Considering we're only on our second episode, to have a question at all that isn't hate, we're doing. We'll take that. So,
then, what's the question?
The question is, and it's from Mike in Crawley, of all places.
All right, okay.
Would you rather win promotion or the FA Cup?
It's the easiest answer I could ever give. It's the FA Cup. I would have I've seen promotion anyway.
Yeah.
Twice. So I've seen promotion automatically. I've seen promotion through the playoffs. I've never seen us win the FA Cup. Now, the club, I'm sure if you asked our CEO and owners, they want promotion, obviously. But the FA Cup, I said to you earlier about the League One promotion. I know it's a different level. I remember the score, but it took me a while to think about it. I know the time we got promoted against Coventry, we beat them 4-0. They were great days, some of the best days. But nothing can beat winning the FA Cup, and the players will immortalise themselves. We've got a kit at the moment which is celebrating 50-year anniversary.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I remember the 40th anniversary, they did an open-top bus tour around the city centre. 30th anniversary, they released a kit. The players that played in that game in 1976 they're all ambassadors of the club. There's still a fair few of them around. Even the manager's still around. They're all still involved within the club. They're always getting interviews. So these players can immortalise themselves within a club for the rest of their lives. The promotion team, as much as they're loved, Lambert obviously is similar, but it's not on the same level. And I said to you last week, I wanted to be a promoted team so that we could realistically challenge for the odd trophy, like Palace got, like Wigan got, like you got, and all of those.
Hang on, what we got? The FA Cup?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was waiting for the bell.
I'm going to call this my Cliché Bell, by the way. So it's not just trophies bell, it's a Cliché Bell. Any Portsmouths that come out, bang. Well, I nearly did it when you mentioned atmosphere earlier.
Yeah, the atmosphere.
I thought it was too early.
Well, you look at you celebrating your 50th anniversary of winning the FA Cup, and you see the to and fro between Pompey fans and Saints fans, and you're living in the moment. You won the FA Cup in 2008. You ain't done nothing since. You're in the Championship just. Mate, you're celebrating a win that was 50 years ago. And I think...
Not necessarily celebrating, commemorating.
Yeah.
And you'll do the same in 2058. I guarantee it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we're not doing it from 1928. We haven't brought out... I
bet you do.
Maybe they'll bring out a 100th anniversary shirt. Maybe, I don't know. But... I suppose an FA Cup is what any English football fan would want to win, isn't it?
Yeah. And ask any Crystal Palace fan who won it last season. Yeah. And that was their first ever trophy.
Yeah.
They'll tell you it's the best day of their lives. Almost all of them will tell you it's the best day of their lives. And it'll be the same for me. It's all I want to see. It'll be incredibly magical. Because we're a second division side. The last second division side that won it, I think, was
a long time.
West Ham. I think it might have been. It was just after we did it. We did it as a second division side. I think they might have done it in 1980 or something. I'll have to check. But in this day and age, if you want it so going back to when you won it in 2008, the semi-finals are 3 championship type teams and you. So it was West Brom, Cardiff. I can't even remember who Cardiff played. And then you, so it was kind of like you had to win.
It would have been a complete utter failure. I was at the final, and I have to admit there is no. I was at the AC Milan game when we played them in what is now the Europa League, and that was one of the best nights of being a Pompey fan. The atmosphere, and just playing that team that AC Milan had then, like when you probably played Inter.
I was going to say we've all had good days, like
but the FA Cup,
the surreal moment of going from 5 years from League One -10 to playing at the San Siro, was insane. But it was nothing compared to winning promotion in the playoffs, and it was. I won't actually no, it's not nothing, but it doesn't rank.
Yeah,
like
I know what you mean. See, I remember obviously quite well when we got promoted from the old League One, which is now the Championship, and we beat Leicester. That wasn't the game that got us promoted, but that was a game because it was us and Leicester at the same time that were vying for getting back up, and that was the game that turned really. And we got up after beating them and a few other results. And now we're in the Championship. They've gone down, but that promotion feels different. I mean, going up from League One to the Championship was massive for Pompey because it had been so far. We had dropped so far, and it had taken us so long to get back.
It's just too easy for me to say why, but
Yeah, but You know what though? You can say why, and I would take that all over. And I know the Pompey fans.
You do because you've got no choice.
Yeah, Pompey fans
you
are
have
divided.
to take it because you've got no choice.
And I think you ask Leicester now.
Yeah, they wouldn't change 10 years ago.
No.
But, I mean, Leicester. I saw a stat the other day. Actually, this won't be stat of the day, and it's not regarding either of our clubs. But they have their name on every English trophy more recently than Arsenal.
Yeah, that's not ideal. They're proper bottlers.
So it's League Cup, which they won in the 90s or early 2000s, didn't they?
Yeah.
FA Cup, they obviously won in about 2021.
Yes, it was.
COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Winning the league with one since Arsenal
And the
not Charity Shield, Community Shield.
Yeah.
So that's mad. And now they're in League One.
Yeah.
But
in Bromley,
four trophies in a relatively short space of time. Plus they won the championship.
Yeah. I wouldn't change that FA Cup game over everything for me. Is by far, and it probably
it's a funny question because it's such a hindsight. Like it's never going to happen. The reason it would always be special no matter what. So you obviously beat a championship team in the semi-final, a championship team in the final, and
United in the quarterfinals with Ronaldo and Rooney
and Rio Ferdinand in goal.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Maybe I don't think it doesn't necessarily diminish it, but there's something about when you get an unexpected win, it feels better, doesn't it? Could you imagine beating Fulham as a championship team, beating Fulham, Arsenal, Man City, and then Chelsea League? It would be insane. That's not me saying it's going to happen.
No.
And like I said last week, you kind of hope, but you don't expect. And even if we're a Premier League team, you hope, but you just have that little bit extra where it could actually genuinely happen. So I watched City against Arsenal the other day. To be fair, Arsenal they created a few chances.
Yeah.
But City just looked every player. I was on our group chat and I was saying I hope he gets injured for a couple of weeks. I hope he gets sent off. It was all 11. It was all 11 players. Like Chucky is unbelievable. Yeah. But we're going on to the preview really. But it's FA Cup for me. I mean, it would be quite weird if we got to Wembley 3 times in the space of a couple of weeks.
So say you get to Wembley 3 times, and you're definitely not going to, but you're not going to win the FA Cup, and you're not going to win.
I like how you had to interrupt yourself.
Yeah, you're not. You're definitely not. But God forbid you win the FA Cup, which you won't. But if you do, and you win promotion, what would you celebrate more?
The FA Cup.
Definitely, would it?
I'd get a tattoo of the FA Cup. I nearly got a tattoo after the promotion, to be fair. It's just we were doing it a bit late at night and nowhere was open. And I'm quite glad we didn't.
Yeah, probably for the best, to be fair.
The last playoff final. But yeah, it would be the weirdest month in the club's history, and nothing will ever compare to it. We could probably, if we won the Premier League or anything after that, it would only equal it.
Premier League, yeah.
Well, you know.
You never know. Well, anyway, thanks, Mike from Crawley. Thanks for the one solitary question, but much appreciated. If anyone has got any questions and does want to fire them over to us, it's southcoastsocialpod@gmail.com. If you do have any questions you want to ask. I'm a little bit gutted we haven't had any Pompey questions. I suppose we've had a pretty
less interest.
No, I doubt it. But we've had a season of it's been an uneventful season for us in the sense of we've been struggling, but we've picked up these few wins. But we haven't had any apart from the Ipswich and Middlesbrough game. Yeah. And the Millwall game.
It's not going to live long in the memory.
No.
Well, okay. Well, if you've got a Pompey question, Chris is desperate. So please send one in. Before we move on to the preview of the games next week, we've still got the same sponsor. So he's not only seen the last episode and thought,
I'm all right with this.
Yeah, he's carried on. So,
well, that's a win.
So we've retained our sponsorship for one more week. So we're sponsored by Play Trade in Bitton, who are the #1 UK retailer for Pokemon cards. They've got over 250,000 single cards. Get yourself down there if you're a Pokemon fan, which I think about 80% of the population, which doesn't include me, is.
I'm not one of them either, but there's a lot of people that are, I believe. They seem to be of all ages.
When you go in there, it's like, I remember I was into Pokemon when, in the early noughties when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But when you go in there, you kind of think, it's going to be sort of kids or anything like that. It's not. It's people. It's people our age, plus their kids and stuff, which they're trying to get into it. But it's a lot of people our age. A lot of like the geezers that you get at football and stuff. Like they're all. I mean, if you met my brother who runs the place, you'd never expect him to be a Pokemon guy. But he's Yeah, they're doing very, very well down there. So yeah, get yourself down to Buy Play Trade. Just mention that you heard us on here, just so that he carries on paying, if anything.
Yeah, I mean it's a help, isn't it?
I really need it. He gave us a bonus for complimenting him, but he's not doing it this time, so I'm not going to. And I think if I offend him, he might take that bonus back. So yeah, get down there to Buy Play Trade. Right, on to next week or this week. The game's coming up this weekend. So we've got two big games. We'll start with, we sort of spoke about the City game. We'll start with that one because we've started to cover it. I don't really know what we're going to say about this other than we're going to lose, to be honest. I think going into it, like, you've got this minor what if, and I had that going into the Arsenal game of, imagine we did beat Arsenal. Wouldn't that be good? But don't get thrashed. And I remember when we scored the first goal against Arsenal, I turned to my brother and I said, that's enough for me. Like, quite happy. Whatever happens now, like, we could lose 2-1, 3-1. Like, we've not disgraced ourselves and bow out of the cup on the 50th anniversary with pride. We're heads held high. But that's not the way this team thinks.
Didn't you say to me that you asked me what Arsenal was, and same for me. When we scored first against Arsenal, I was like, I'm complete here. This will do. They weren't expecting that. And you asked me what we done, and we done 4-1. You said, well, I'll be happy with 3-1 then.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And you were like, as long as we don't get battered, and I'll take 3-1.
Yeah, I did.
And
well remembered.
Yeah, look what happened there.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, just get confidence in your team and all. Yeah.
Well, I've always been a more pessimistic fan, to be honest, because
be that way.
It's just one of those things. I grew up in the 90s. I've seen more losses than wins, I'd imagine, and it's just kind of expect the worst, hope for the best.
Definitely.
You can't let yourself down. And that's what I'll go into this game. I mean, it's not a cheap day, so you don't want to go. The trains aren't running, so we've had to hire a coach, or there's like rail works going on. We've had to hire a coach, we were going to the Green Man, but we're going to Box Park now, so we've bought tickets to Box Park.
Is that your allocation?
So we've got Green Man side, which we've had every time we've gone to Wembley. And Box Park's sort of like on the halfway. I think it's on Wembley Way.
Yeah, it's Wembley Way, yeah.
And last time I went to Wembley, Leeds had that, and we've got it this time. So I'd imagine it's not a really special thing going to Wembley for Man City fans, to be fair.
Well, yeah, I've spoken to a couple of people and they're giving it a whole. Man City have only sold 22,500 tickets.
Well, they sent a load of tickets back for us to resell, but so they've got that allocation they can move at the top, the segregation at the top. So we've taken about 2,500 of those. Man City season ticket holders could buy 3 or 4 tickets at a time.
They are there pretty much every other weekend.
Yeah, I get it. I don't actually hold it against them.
No,
I'm not one of these that's like, oh, Man City.
But there is a thing
the Etihad or whatever.
Yeah, there is.
When they were in the third division, they were well supported.
Yeah.
Most of the fans that you meet from Manchester are genuinely good fans. Yeah. It's not their fault what's happened.
No.
And there's a lot of jealousy, but yeah, they've been there like 25 times under the head. But I get that it's a long way, and it's like I say, it's expensive for us. It's more expensive for them.
Yep.
So yeah, it's an expensive day. So you don't want to go out there and get beat 6-7. So I'm not going to predict a loss, because I just don't want to, but it's going to be a hard game. Our manager, after the game the other day, a bit like I said earlier, Stuart and Larrard work. It works with 2 up top.
Which amazed me.
If he went 2 up top against Man City, just take it to him. I mean, we might get taught a lesson, but why not? Why not? And they'll be up for it. I mean, they're both in brilliant form at the moment, and we're rotating them just for fitness, not because one's better than the other.
Well, Stuart amazes me because I haven't seen him play, obviously, because I don't watch your games, but no, definitely not. I just remember the one game.
You're gonna have to start now. We're doing this.
Well,
you're gonna be informed.
A couple of hours, won't you? I remember watching him when he was at Sunderland play us in League One. Yeah. And it was pouring with rain, and we beat them. And God, he was awful.
Really, he had a good year that year as well.
He had a very good year that year, but he didn't have a very good game with us. He was awful. And obviously, when you signed him for however many millions, and he came injured.
I mean, it wasn't.
It was 18 million.
I don't think it was silly money.
No. But unfortunately for me, I mean, he seems to be.
He's come good.
Hit form at the moment.
Yeah. It would be lovely to get a full season and full fitness out of him, because
How old is
in my opinion, I don't know. In my opinion, he's a Premier League player. It's only his injuries that have stopped that happening. Okay. He scored a couple for us in the Premier League when he got fit, but then he got injured, and then he got fit, and then he got injured. He scored against Premier League clubs in the FA Cup. So I think it wouldn't be outrageous to say if you could see him at a mid-table Premier League club, it wouldn't be. He wouldn't stink the place out.
Yeah.
So. He's a Premier League player that we're lucky enough to have just purely because of his injuries. So it's a bit bittersweet in that sense. But yeah, the manager did mention maybe we'll go to up top. Could be mind games. to make Pep think. I doubt Pep's really bothered, to be honest.
I don't think he
He'll
is.
do the normal thing that he always does, and that is blow smoke, say what a great team, what a great
sit back and
side.
relax
But he can put his reserve team out. Arsenal made some changes, and it made them a lot weaker.
Yeah.
I don't think City get a lot weaker when they make changes. I mean, like, you look
They
at like O'Reilly, it was unbelievable. Even some of the older players that they've got, and it's their final season and stuff. They've got quality all over the pitch. The one bet I am going to put on, Mark, you can mark this down, is City get a penalty. Because not only obviously there's VAR, they're going to spend a lot of time in our final third.
Yeah.
They're going to have players like Doku, Semenyo, Cherky running at us, whilst the likes of Wood and Taylor Harwood-Bellis are fighting with Haaland, who does seem to get in a bit of a scrap.
Yeah.
And they might just get a little bit emotional. There's just something in it. I think if you could put a bet on, I don't know what the odds would be, just put a bet on City getting a penalty.
There you go, you've heard that then. City get a pen.
I just can't. It's one of those that I just could see it happening. But other than that, I hope it's one of those games. We actually drew with them at the end of last season. We're a better team now than we were last season, in my opinion. Well, we've proved it because we've beaten more teams in Premier League this season. We did the whole of last year. We're a better team now than we were this time last season. We drew with them last season. And it was one of those, flat back 10 games. We defended for our lives. It was to get us the points so that we weren't the worst ever team. And the goal lived a bit of a charm life. They all had a bit of an off day. They were putting crosses in that were all too deep, all of that. So if we could have another one of those games where the goal lives a charm life, we've got a good keeper. If he can have the game of his life, we've got a good centre-back. He just has to have a good game, and he'll get himself up for it because he's ex-Man City. He came through their academy, Taylor Harwood-Bellis.
Was he?
Came through their academy, won the Youth Cup with them.
He's the one with Roy Keane's daughter.
I was going to say Roy Keane's.
So he's gone with United. Okay.
Well, he lived obviously in that area. So yeah, he's got the Roy Keane factor. He's from up that way, so he's going to be well motivated. Hopefully, he keeps his head.
Yeah.
Because one of the things he said why he's been better during this run is that he's calmed down a bit. He was always trying to do everything,
right? And
he's calmed down a bit. He has to have a good game. And to be fair, like I fancy if we get a chance, we only need one. If we get a good chance and just somehow hold on to it, the only way we win is 1-0, so I'm going 1-0.
Well, I'll
write it down.
Write it down. Then. I think the only weak link potentially City have got is Donnarumma.
I think they play Trafford anyway.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Did you see the goal we conceded against Arsenal the other day? Yeah. I mean, there's every chance that could happen to us because our keeper does seem to take his time a little bit with taking kicks.
I think that's just a thing now because ours does exactly the same. It's just a thing that keepers seem to have a lot more.
But if he's used to championship players closing him down, he might have a bit of a problem with it's Doku, Semenyo, or something like that. Yeah. So, and I mean, Haaland's no slouch either. So, and he's massive. Yeah. So it's a big thing to miss.
So you're going 1-0 to you.
Yeah. I know it's ridiculous.
Bold. That is very bold. You're not winning. There's no chance of you winning. It'll be a good game, I believe, and I think you'll give it to them. You won't.
Really?
I think you'll have a go, and City maybe for the first 10 minutes will just assess, play, or they'll either come fighting out the blocks and go for it. I'm going to say 2-0 City.
It's not the worst result in the world. To be honest, it could end up a little bit. We played in the semi-final against Chelsea a few years ago. I think it was like 2018 or 19. And we didn't really turn up. We did against Leicester as well. We played Leicester when they won the FA Cup. We played them in the semi-final. Didn't turn up to either of those games, and it just sort of...
Well, it could go one of two ways, I think. I think
it usually does.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I mean, you'll either do an Arsenal or they'll run right in the last 20 minutes and put 3 or 4 past you.
Yeah.
2-0, I think, is a safe bet. I know you can't not go against a win. But...
I can, I'm just not going to.
Yeah.
This is heart ruling head. I completely get that is heart ruling head. If that happens,
I'm not coming next week. If that happens, I'm not coming next week. If you make it to a final, you'll have to do it by yourself because I can't sit it. I don't know. It's going to be painful because I feel that if you beat City, it's the best team in the country. Arsenal are up there. Arsenal are going to bottle it. They're going to bottle everything they're in. City will win the league. They're playing Burnley tonight. They'll win that. They'll go top tonight. Now, if you win that, I just hope you don't. Because the problem is Leeds and Leeds or Chelsea. Chelsea are done for.
Be fuming if you're a Leeds fan because you're thinking going into that with Chelsea's form, they're going to get a new manager bounce now, aren't they? But
Well, are they? I don't think they'll have time.
I don't know.
Because I was listening to talks.
I don't know how, but it depends what things are like behind the scenes. I mean, you saw it with. We never used to get new manager bounces. It was always never seemed to happen. But
we've had enough of them lately.
But we had a new manager come in, and it was like the shackles were off for the first 5 or 6 games. He's played completely different football in this run that we're on now. Because the first run, he just stuck with the same formation and setup, but the players, it was different way of playing. Armstrong was coming deep, and it was like they had a lease of life, which now looking back at Will Steele and how drab his interviews were, I kind of get it. But we never get new manager bounce. You don't know what it was like behind the scenes with Rossini. Maybe they obviously never bought into him.
He's very strange in his terminology, wasn't he? Like, well, you've got to respect the ball. And was it when they're not managers, they're man.
The Brighton one was the funny one. You got to be. We're at Brighton. You've got to be bright and you've got to be on, or something like that.
And another one he came out with is, we're not managers, we're managers.
Yes, yeah.
But
you could get away with that sort of stuff.
Oh, come on.
Like when you're at Hull.
Oh, God, yeah.
But like,
Chelsea on a 7-year contract with £24 million payout.
I've always said that when players go to bigger clubs, I mean, some of our players have obviously done very well, but there's been a lot that have just faded into the background because the scrutiny is so much higher.
Yeah.
It's the same with the managers. But it happened a bit when Nathan Jones came to us. They, he's clearly as mad as a box of frogs when he's in interviews, but it doesn't get highlighted in the Championship.
No.
When he was in the Premier League with us and he was coming out with some stuff, like, it just doesn't work because it gets plastered all over the internet, it gets plastered all over Sky News. So, yeah.
Do you think that Rossini and Will Steele, I think both your club and them, I know that you've looked out the box and that these so-called up-and-coming English young managers who have somewhat performed abroad, they always said that Will Steele was going to be the next potential big thing, and
I don't think Will Steele's a bad manager. I think he was the wrong job at the wrong time.
Right.
He is young and he's still learning, but I think it was the wrong job for him because he came into a club that was expected to win every week.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
And all of his success has come when he's at a team that have got to sort of be backs against the walls, fighting survival, like not favourite in every game. And I think he's good for that. Yeah. Do you know what? He'd probably do all right. But I don't think he's a bad manager, and I hope he does all right. I hold no ill will against it, like Nathan Jones. But
obviously not doing too well at the moment at Watford, is he?
No, but again, and he didn't bring his brother with him. He's always worked with. Yeah. So that was a bit strange.
A bit like the Cowleys, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think he was set up for failure.
Yep.
Not as bad. I mean, I'd love to know what he thinks when we're on this run at the moment.
With the same players.
Mostly the same players. I mean, he must be looking at that thinking, why wouldn't they do this for me? But you can only look at yourself. It amazes me at the top level of sport, at elite sport level, one man can make such a difference. It's strange. Like, you just assume they're brilliant at football, just be brilliant at football.
Yeah.
But there we go. I know styles come into it. But yeah, this sort of young English manager thing sounded a little bit boomer-like here. But and you had like... Kirbishley and Big Sam and players like that, managers like that who would just get job after job after job. It's gone the complete other way now, and it's just every owner's trying to be a bit more clever.
Yeah.
And our owner's especially bad for that. Specifically, one of the board members, he just wants to be too clever, and it's cost us. What we needed were experienced players who had been around the block, a couple of captains. I think back to the team that got promoted and got into Europe, there were captains throughout the team, and we just had no leadership.
No.
And when you've got no leadership and then you bring in a manager who's not necessarily a leader, you're struggling. So, we've kind of gone off of a bit of a tangent from the City game.
Let's get on to whilst we're on you, then we'll get you done and dusted, because I can't be talking about you anymore.
We're going straight into
let's go straight into your Ipswich game, because that's obviously another massive game, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it could be. It could have been a lot bigger. I said to you last week, I just want to get to the Ipswich game and be in with a chance. Now, we're not obviously out of it, but we're certainly not favourites to go through automatically now. So, look, I mean, there's a chance that they could be downtrodden after being battered by City, or they could be suffering from a hangover from beating City. I don't know. This is a really hard game to predict because you don't know what sort of, Ipswich are playing tonight. If they lose, pressure's really on them.
Yep.
If they win, they might be on cloud nine.
So they've got a week.
This is really... Well, they're playing Saturday as well, aren't they? So that's their other game.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, they're playing Saturday.
So they are playing still. And that'll bring us up to level games then. But Yeah, it's this is a really hard game to predict because of the time that we are.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I hope it means something. So I hope the results have gone our way and we can go into that game with it meaning something. Realistically, I think it'll be tense. I think it'll be cagey. I'll go 1-1.
Yeah. I'm going for a draw. I'm going 2-2.
I love that I went with beat City and draw with Ipswich.
Yeah, but it's a different game. I think that.
Did you say 2-2?
Yeah, 2-2. I think that it's going to be more open. I think there is going to be pressure on the game for both teams, more so maybe them, depending on what happens. I think it's going to probably be a shootout, and it's going to be maybe end to end. Cagey to start.
It's not going to mean nothing. That's the thing, because both of us, even if neither of us make the automatics, it's important because if you finish third or fourth, you get the second leg at home, which is a massive advantage. We had that advantage last time. We went up to West Brom and drew 0-0 and had the home advantage and won 3-1. And that was one of the, I won't ding the bell, but it was one of the best atmospheres I've ever been in. And it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's that's still going to be up there to play for. I mean, the teams as a whole have now dropped out. And Wrexham have gone back in. So you've got Borough and Wrexham below us. And yeah, it depends on their results as well. I mean, if they're cut adrift because they've lost in that same period of time, then it could be very difficult.
Coming up, they've got. Let's have a little look. They've got. I don't think they've got the easiest of games coming up, have they?
They have got. So they got Watford and Wrexham. Oh, Wrexham.
That could be a Wrexham get in or Hull get in.
Yeah.
Middlesbrough home against Watford and then away to Wrexham. Then okay. Yeah.
So you're going to all.
Yeah, I'm going to all.
Fair enough. We can move on from that one because it could be anything. Now on to the most pointless game of the weekend, Pompey Stoke. I mean,
well,
there's a couple of bits of interest here. There's a couple of ex-Saints and there's a couple of ex-Pompey in the Stoke team. You've got nothing to play for. They've got nothing to play for.
I'd like to say
probably be 6-6 or something. I'm not going with that.
I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't a thrashing last night, I would have said that Pompey might have picked up a result. Last year, we got battered by, I think it was 6-0.
Yeah.
6-1, we lost to them last season. I'm going to go for a boring 0-0.
Really? I just think everybody with a bit of a hangover.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest interests here is Gavin Bazunu.
Yeah,
Bazunu's going to be playing, so it ain't going to be nil.
No,
well, I know that much. You saw the goal he conceded.
After Bazunu and the fact that the goal that we conceded last night by Schmidt.
Shouldn't be influenced by me so much.
No, 1-1.
1-0. 2 keeper mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, Bazunu's going to take shit off the Pompey fans.
Mate, he should be getting applauded on. He was player of the season for you, came to us, was terrible, and now he's probably going to throw one in the net for you.
He left us, went back to City, and then you poached him. Well, I didn't poach him. You brought him, and that's worked out how it's worked out. I mean, we'll come on to it at another pod about players that go between the clubs. Some have succeeded, some haven't.
Yeah.
Some are still somewhat worshipped, some aren't.
Yeah.
He's not one that's going to be worshipped.
He's player of the season as well, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, Jesus, anyone can win player of the season for Pompey at the moment. I think he'll take some shit because he's still employed by Southampton, isn't he?
And the thing is that he doesn't strike me as somebody who can take it well.
I don't think
so. I'm really glad he didn't play in that derby game. Yeah, I don't think he's the biggest. I mean, he doesn't reach anything that goes into the corners. I know that much.
It would have been interesting if he was.
He's capable.
Yeah.
The thing is that I always used to say about him, he never made clangers, but he made a clanger last night.
Yeah.
But he never really made clangers, but he didn't save what you'd expect him to save. You know, it might have just been out of reach. And I always said that was down to his positioning, his reaction times. They were just a bit poor.
He did for us in League One. There were some shots that you think, how did he get to that for his size?
Yeah.
There was some that you think...
He's unbelievable with his feet, by the way.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
He's way better than Schmidt.
Well, the one thing I said was, when we got the new keeper in, we need to get used to the fact we're not going to have a keeper as good with his feet. And to be fair, Perez has been good. Bazunu is on another level. He is basically a centre midfielder player. He is a centre midfielder playing goal.
He's a perfect sweeper, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he's good when he comes up for corners as well. Scored one for us at Preston and then hit the bar and then it got bundled in against Real Madrid under 21s.
That's crazy.
Under 23s. But He seems to be. He has a knack of that. But I mean, he's only on loan at Stoke, so he is a Southampton player
he'll
still.
get some grief for that. I just think that
it wouldn't surprise me if he might get injured in the warm up.
Yeah.
I could see him bottling it because he just doesn't have that character that I think a goalkeeper needs, and that's one of the biggest things since he left and Peretz came in. Peretz is a step above in ability, but the character is 10 levels above. Like, you see him, when we conceded yesterday, he ran over to the crowd, started jeering them up. He went over to the players. He's this presence in the box. He comes for crosses.
Have you brought him, or was he on loan?
No, he's on loan. We have got an option. Right. He interviewed not long ago saying, if we go up, it's an easy decision. If we don't, it's not, or something.
Well, he's gone then, isn't he?
Well, I mean, what are his options? He was on loan. He's at Bayern Munich. He was on loan at... I want to say like Feyenoord or something like that, but he wasn't getting a game. He didn't play in 2 or 3 years. So if I was him, I mean, his stock's gone up now.
Yeah.
If I was him and he needs to go somewhere he plays, because he was a bit dodgy when he came in, but he's just rusty.
Maybe he'll just come to us then.
He's not going to take a step down.
Yeah, right. I think that.
So you went 1-1. I'm going to go 3-2 Stoke. I've got some mad predictions. I've got 3.
Again. 3. You put 3 for 3-all for Leicester. We have we definitely could see.
One day I'll get one of these mad ones right. I'm hoping it's that City one, but
we'll see.
But
so that's those games then.
Yeah. So that's the games over with. We've got a feature now on something that we can agree on. Yeah. Last week we agreed on Bournemouth and the bubble. And the bubble was no fun. We should only do one a week because we're going to run out of these. Yeah, we're not going to. I have got one. Have you? It depends what one yours is. I've got 2 actually, so I'm going to save one for a little bit later. I've got one in that. Isn't it hilarious that Leicester have gone down 10 years ago, winning the Premier League? But it's funny. Oh, it is, and I'm really enjoying it. So if I obviously wanted you to go down, and somehow you've managed to scrape it again, but never in doubt. If Pompey weren't going down, my next choice was Leicester. I think there was a stat on the radio last night on Talk Sport, and they were saying about how unreal it is that a team has back-to-back relegations. Luton done it last year from the Prem. You did it once, didn't you? Not back-to-back. It was League One to League Two. No, we didn't. You went Championship, League One, League Two, didn't you? I don't know if it was back-to-back. Was it? Did we stay in the Championship for one season? You should know better than I do. I don't know. I'll have to think. I heard the other way. I'll put it up on the screen if it's there. If it's not, I'll cut it out. I've got a feeling it was back-to-back, but I also... No, it wasn't 3 back-to-back. No, in that case, then no. We stayed in the Championship a season, then went down. And then went down again. And then went down again, Yeah, we never went from the Prem down to the League One straight off the back-to-back. Unlike Luton and Leicester. You said it was funny. The amount of people last night you could hear, and they were talking between themselves, and they were like, "It's just funny." Do you know the one downside to this is that Vardy's not there? That is, I'll tell you what, that is the one thing that would have made the whole situation even better, was that fact if he was there. Yeah, and he wouldn't have made a difference, I don't think. No, there's no way. I mean, on paper, they might get him back for League One though. Could see that. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, on paper, they've got a good team. And someone's posted a screenshot of a post that was put out one day before the start of the Championship season this year. And it was a picture of the team and said, let's have some fun. Get your popcorn ready, wouldn't it? Get your popcorn ready. Let's have some fun. It's going to be a fun season. Yeah. And look, it was certainly a fun season. Yeah. So, you know, my other wish with this is that they become the first team to be relegated twice in the same season, so that West Brom get a points deduction, which means that Leicester aren't technically relegated, and then they get relegated again. That would be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be hilarious. That would be lovely. So we're agreed on that. Yeah, we'll agree on that. It is funny that Leicester have done what they've done. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Unfortunately, I will agree with that. Good. All right, well, have a think about something that you want to agree on next week. Next week, because I've got one more left, and then I'm really scraping the barrel. We'll have a couple on that one, yeah. Stat of the week? On to stat of the week. It's a big stat on your behalf, isn't it, I think? Well, it could have been better, it's kind of soiled it. I'm just getting up the stat. So the stat is, I mean, every Saints fan knows it because it's been posted all over social media and on the TV. Yeah. But those 6 wins in a row that we had in the league is the first time that we've won 6 games in a row in the league since 1908. Is that any league? I mean, we're mostly in the top division, but we weren't in 1908. Put it that way. But that would have been Southern League. Any league game, not a Premiership game. Not just Premier League. Any division. Any division in the same division. I think there's an element of crossover, probably when we were in League One to the Championship or something like that. Yeah. But in the same season, We've never won 6 in a row since 1908. If we'd got one more, that was the first time in our history. So a little bit of fact on 1908. Edward VII was on the throne at the time.
Yeah.
The state pension was introduced in 1908, which surprised me. I thought it would be a bit later than that.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's as much as I know about 1908. The Titanic hadn't sunk yet.
No.
So it was.
So we are talking a long time. It's taken you a long time to get 6 straight league wins in, yeah?
It's very hard to win 6 straight league wins in the top divisions that we operate in. But go on, I can see where you're going with this.
When I found out that you were playing that, we've won 6 league games in a row, and it was a massive thing for your fan base, and what an achievement it must be. I mean,
we won't celebrate it. It just came out.
No, yeah, okay, you won't celebrate. Now, I'm going to go back to the season of 23-24. Okay, not long ago.
That was the year we got promoted to the Premier League, wasn't
it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was, because the year we went up, yeah. We, in October, starting... where are we? Yeah, here we go. So starting on the 19th.
Well prepared this.
Yes. Okay, so from the start of September 2023, we started off, beat Barnsley 3-2 and went on a 6-game run, 7 in all competitions. But
we've got 7 in all competitions.
We had 7 in all competitions.
8, I think.
Okay, well, yeah, we're not counting all competitions, but I've got that.
Funny that, yeah.
We had 6 straight wins on the trot. So, you're 19
in the third division.
Well, did I not just make it clear to make sure that it wasn't one that you've had 6 wins in a row in the Premiership, and then now this is only for the Championship?
No.
So it doesn't matter what league it was in.
No, it doesn't. It was in the second division rather than the third.
And
that's fine.
Playing teams like
it was at a higher level, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, so
you've equalled it at a lower level.
Yeah. And a lot sooner than you. In that time, we had to beat the likes of Derby.
When was the time before that? I might go and I'll dig that one out.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go back as far as probably...
To be fair, I'm not. We can go back and forward on this for a while.
Back the season we went up into Premiership.
Well, I'm surprised we didn't do it when we were in the third division, when we had that ridiculous team. But we did always there was always that random game. I remember we played Brentford, who weren't good back then, at home around Christmas time, and just didn't turn up. So yeah, when we were in League One for a couple of years, we never went on we obviously didn't go on a 6-game unbeaten run or winning streak. But in terms of unbeaten runs, we're 20 now. Our club record's 25, which was the same year.
You're not making that this year then if you lose to City.
Well, no, because that was league as well.
Oh,
it was. I think it was. I'll have to double check. So don't quote me on it. But we were doing sort of 18, 19, and that included a couple of cup games that we lost in the cup, and I think they reset it to just league only.
Right. So what are you on at the moment?
20 in all competitions.
Right. Okay.
18 in the league. I'm assuming that's counting for.
So you're going to go back down to 18 then and start again.
Probably.
That's right. Yeah. Then you're probably going to lose.
Well, the thing is, we can't get to 25 this season.
No.
It'd have to go into next season.
Could you not do playoffs?
No, because so we've got 2 games left.
Push on 18.
So the fact took us to 18, that'd take us to 20.
Yeah.
And then we've got 2 games in the playoffs, so we could get to 23.
Be 24.
No, 23, because it'd be 18, 2 games left of the season.
Oh, yeah, 20.
2 games in the playoff.
Yeah.
23 is the final.
Yeah.
The only way we can get to 25 is winning the FA Cup.
No. Well, I'll say on record now, I'm looking forward to the derby next season. Let's go for that.
Are you?
Yeah. Why not?
I'm not looking forward to it because I don't want it to happen, because I want us to go up. But it's a lovely consolation prize that we get. We actually get a bit of 6 points next season, finally.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a good stat. When was the last time one of the teams did the double over the other? Because it's not happened in my lifetime.
I personally can't remember. It's very.
I've been to every derby.
It is hard because obviously there has always been that gap to an extent. Even the years.
What gap?
Well, the year that when you got relegated down to the Championship and then League One, and we were still in the Premiership, and got to another FA Cup final 2 years after winning it. But anyway, when was the last time? I honestly can't remember. I
reckon it's the 60s. I'll have a look, and we're
have a look on
a
lot of draws at the moment. And
that seems to always be the way that I remember. We played you in the FA Cup in '96, which was the first time I went, but obviously we were in different divisions. The first time we were in the same division, we beat you twice that year, but one was in the cup.
Yeah.
And then you beat us at Fratton Park when Kubu scored.
Yeah.
Then the next year, again, we beat you twice, but one was in the cup.
Yeah.
And then you beat us again.
Yeah.
And then we weren't in. And then we've drawn ever since.
Yeah.
We've drawn every.
It keeps alternating between cup games of wins, isn't it?
Yeah.
And league games are definitely stalemates at the moment. But yeah, look, we could get onto that favourite derbies, and maybe
We will. I was having to think about little specials that we could do. We were talking about like top 5 players that have played for both.
Yeah.
I reckon do bottom 5 as well.
Oh, easily.
I think we should do a thing of just shit opinions.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Opinions you stand by that nobody else agrees with. We can talk about loads of other things as well. So, but yeah, I think that concludes any other business.
No, I think we're there. It's going to be an interesting last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
For you, we've got nothing to play for. I'm happy. We can chill out. Hopefully, spend some money and just sit back and watch the rest of the season unfold.
Watch us get promoted. So you can email us at southcoastsocialpod@gmail.com. We're on all the socials: Instagram, South Coast Social Pod, X is South Coast Pod, and then just search for South Coast Social Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. We've actually done very well.
We have surprisingly
first episode. So got an email from Apple yesterday, which is actually Spotify did better, but Apple put us in near enough. Actually, we were 109th in podcasts in the UK.
It is actually very good considering how many podcasts there are for sport and
in
events.
our category.
In our category, across the whole of the UK.
Every club's got 2 or 3 podcasts. So I think on episode 1, no advertising, like standing start, we got to 109. So if you could spread this around your friends, just send it to them, say, listen to these 2 idiots and get us into the top 100. That'd be great. Spotify, we did the best on. YouTube's the one where we haven't got quite so many.
No.
Although
I'll sort that out.
We had a lot of views on the shorts. There's like the shorts and things. But yeah, if you could like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, it does help. It helps the algorithm and means that we'll keep coming back with our terrible opinions and arguments and things that we agree on. I don't think that'll last a lot longer.
No, I think we're being nice at the moment. I don't think it's going to last. We're definitely not. It's not going to last.
Especially if next season we're playing it, which we won't be anyway.
We will be.
Anyway, thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.